Hey everybody, welcome to the Seawall Podcast. We're here to introduce some young men that are coming up. Been lucky enough to watch them do it, and I'm pretty excited about this interview, honestly. So thanks for coming, guys, and hanging out.
Of course, thanks for having us.
What's up, guys? My name is Jonah, Auvaa. I'm from Fuala'au, Washington.
And I'm Marques Fuala'au. I'm from Kent, Washington.
Who are you?
I'm Levon Dunn, and I'm from Tukwila, Washington. Earth. Yes.
Well, who am I?
Yeah,
I am Nick Greer.
Oh, I thought it was Rick James.
From Puyallup, Washington.
Come on, P-Town.
Oh, yeah. I'm Matt Courtwright, and I'm in Bonnie Lake. No, we can't take ourselves too seriously. This is way too much fun.
All right, so I guess we'll get into some questions here.
Yeah.
Let's get stuck in it.
So, Jonah,
Yeah.
got some questions for you. So, we talked before we started this, but a lot of pro athletes, they're like one of their dreams is to represent their country, wear that flag on their shirt. So, let's say I know you were in the 2020 that you got in the U20s.
Yeah.
One of 3 center players, but I just kind of wanted to know, like, what your mindset is, knowing that not a lot of players get to do that, and that you were chosen to represent your country in the sport that you love to do.
No, yeah, I definitely don't take the opportunity lightly. Like you said, it's an opportunity that not everyone gets to have. So, just knowing that you were selected to represent the country, it means everything. So, it was very unlucky 2020 happened. Obviously, COVID, so that ARC tour was canceled. That would have been one of the biggest opportunities for me. But from the little opportunities I've had through the U18s, you always get that pride putting off playing for your country, especially at those times I was only playing Canada. So, you got that little rivalry. So
It's the best rivalry.
yeah. But yeah, it's an opportunity that I'm very grateful that I've had, and yeah, it's something I definitely cherish. So
I know how. I mean, I will never experience that. But I know how like awesome it is just to run with that flag out in the field and like everybody's cheering. Like, and I'm not even like a national player. I'm just a mascot running out with a flag and everybody's screaming. Like, I couldn't imagine how it is being a player to wear the flag on your arm, man.
Seriously,
to be proud of the country.
Something to be proud of.
And you're playing a sport you love, man. So I mean, that's the awesomest part about it. It's like you get to do something you love and represent somewhere you love. So
Awesome. Love it. So, you gonna ask him another question, or are you gonna go to Marques?
we go Marques.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
Marques.
Okay.
How's it?
We'll switch it up.
I was doing a little bit of research, and I read, and this is different from reading versus you telling your story.
Yeah.
Was it 9th grade or freshman year of high school that you started getting into rugby?
Yep.
Why don't you tell us that backstory, like how you got into it, and like what your influence was, and who was most important in that rugby story?
It's funny because our story is pretty similar, just how we got into rugby. But 9th grade year, we're playing indoor youth football over here in Tacoma, and I was just playing football at the time. And one of my boys, EJ, who plays rugby, or who was playing rugby at the time, he invited me out to practice for the Rainier Highlanders. Go Highlanders, baby! And I was just like, I honestly thought he wanted to, light me up or something, because in my mind, rugby's all physical. I thought he wanted me to come to practice so he could show me something. But, I mean, obviously that changed my life, because I come to practice freshman year, got to regather with Jonah and a couple other boys I played football with before. And all of us, it's our first year playing for pretty much all the boys there. In that first year, everyone just fell in love with the game. And I think, it's, like I said a couple times, it's the things off the field that make you fall in love with the game. And things like this, sitting around having a beer, having a laugh. Yeah. And back then, that was something brand new to me. I joined rugby on a Tuesday. We had practice Thursday. And on Saturday or on Friday night before the game, the whole team spent the night at one of the boys' house. 2 days in, and I'm like, this is crazy. And then now, to this day, Jonah can attest to this. Those boys are still our boys. Yeah. I have high school friends that, I don't necessarily talk to as much. But these are our boys. We talk to them all the time. So that's just kind of how the journey started, and kind of overtook football. I continued to play football through high school. Got the opportunity to Central. Couldn't be more thankful for that. Also changed my life, and it wouldn't have happened, didn't meet these guys, because it's really the guys off the field that changed that for me.
It's lifelong brotherhood, then.
Yeah, for life, It's awesome.
So you guys are all super close still. It's fun to watch.
Oh
yeah, really close.
So my other question, my next question, kind of goes to both of you guys about kind of the same mixes in the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
So you went to Fuala'au.
Yeah.
You were a Viking. You went to Kent Lake. You were a Falcon.
Go Falcons.
Now, assuming both of you guys are competitive. So how were the games when you guys faced off towards each other? How was it like when I know you guys are trying to outdo each other. So what position you play when you guys played, and how was the game sort when you guys played each other?
Yeah, so the funny thing is we've only played against each other when we were kids. So this is youth football, Kent Knights, Fuala'au Rough Riders. But at that time, I was a guard. I don't know.
A little bit of everything, but mainly a linebacker.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, our teams kind of grew up being kind of the top dogs in the youth league. So we are obviously kind of always rivals. Always a big game when we played each other. Funny thing is, I played with his nephew, who was grew up being one of my best friends too. But so I knew that he had a cousin playing on, which was Marques. Marques could tell you. I mean, I think it's kind of split, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
1 win each, and it was both championship games.
I think it was the biggest rivalry in youth football.
Yeah.
Biggest rivalry.
They remember. That's the best part.
We always remember.
We're 1-1.
We still make
So
jokes.
7th grade. I mean, we played growing up. I started in 4th grade. Well, I'm not sure when you started.
4th grade, I think. Yeah.
And our teams would make it to the championship pretty much every year in our league. So I mean, we're the biggest rivalries growing up. But 7th and 8th grade were our first time playing at night. It's just the biggest game. And I got one 7th grade. He got one
in 8th grade. But
after that, 8th grade, we both got selected to play for the Washington Warriors.
Oh, nice.
And that was just a select side football thing. So in 8th grade, we actually got to travel to Hawaii together. This is our first time actually meeting each other. We played as youth. We had those big rivalry games, and then we met each other. And honest, there was some bad blood just because I knew he was a Rough Rider. But by the end of it, we were all really close, and that's when we met Rugby in 9th grade.
yeah.
So it just kind of did it fall into each other kind of thing?
Pretty much so you go from playing rivalry teams, you don't like each other. Then 8th grade, we finally become teammates, and we have a mutual, which is his nephew. So hence, we weren't even as close as we are now. Even in 8th grade, we were just oh, what's up, Marques? We just knew each other. Then 9th grade is pretty much we really started hanging out, and then basically sophomore year, my dad made us. So he made him captain, vice captain. So that bond kind of just took over from there. So I think it was sophomore year that really made us.
Yeah, for those that don't know, your dad was the coach for you guys in rugby, pretty much from your sophomore year on up. Am I wrong?
Freshman
or was
year.
he also
freshman year?
Oh, he's freshman
to
year?
sophomore, and then we transitioned out. He took the JV group, so freshman, sophomore. So that's what the group he wanted to do.
Yeah.
So he took over there, and then we moved on to Coach Jeff and
Colin and Aaron.
Another big rivalry you were talking about, because we didn't get the chance to play in high school against each other football-wise. But the IYFL Indoor Youth Football League I was talking about, he played on blue. It was just by colors. And I played on green. And the same exact thing. How we made it to the championship, and we were the biggest rivalries. Yeah. That was probably the biggest. Jonah will tell you a story where before the game, Jonah came up to say, we're already boys, and Jonah came up to say, "What's up?" to me. And
he was just being competitive. He was like, "Oh, I don't know you, bro." I was like, "Whoa, what the heck just happened?" It was so funny. It was just young freshman kid. Yeah. Competitive.
Good times. Good times.
It's funny talking about it now.
No, it's
good times.
Is that okay? So was that the season after rugby then?
No, this was all in that first year.
All before you started playing rugby.
This is where I was playing indoor football.
Okay.
EJ, you know EJ. EJ said, "Come out to practice." I came out to practice, and I was like, Jonah, Masi, I played with these guys already, and that's when it like started.
Oh, now it makes so much sense because like, you know, I was just the manager, right, and helping, and to see how you guys all had these bonds already, and I was like, how does that work? Like, you know, now it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So you were there like 2 years after. We were already like close by that. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was freshman year. So it's cool. Like we all came from different high schools, and then by the end of it, you're still like I'm closer to these guys than I'm only friends with like 2 guys from that I went to high school with. Still, it's like it's these guys that are like still my boys that I hang out with all the time.
Oh man, rugby.
So, yeah, rugby. Yep.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you guys both going to Central. We kind of talked about it earlier about how you know, they've gone to other facilities that are not as pristine. What do you guys think about all that?
You want to go first on that?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we were blessed to go to Central for sure. We had, you know, everything you need and more to be successful. Like, we got a strength coach, really good strength coach, Eric Hoyam, that really did his thing.
Shout out Hoyam, man.
Shout out Hoyam.
Shout out
Freshman year, senior year, just a whole different body change, mindset change. And it comes from guys like Hoyam. We got Todd Thornley out there, probably one of the better, if not the best college coach in the country. And he's just very talented. And then after that, just the support system in that small town over there in Ellensburg is just unreal. We get the support from the athletics to be scholarshiped and varsity team.
Yeah.
Just blessed. And then, you know, we played with a bunch of guys from some places, and it's just makes you realize how lucky, how blessed you were to be there. You know?
Yeah, and you guys had an alumni group. Was it this weekend?
Yeah, this past weekend. Just came back from Ellensburg.
Yeah, that was fun to see. I think this was the first time I've ever known that it happened. Is this a normal thing?
I think it kind of died while we were in college. Like the last
pandemic,
last big alumni thing we kind of had was our freshman year. But then after that, it kind of died down. But no, this past one was really cool. Like we got to meet the guys that basically got us Central to the point of being a varsity program.
Oh, nice.
Some OGs.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Literal OGs. So, yeah, it's just awesome. Like these are basically the guys that kind of put Central like known across the
map.
Yeah, rugby wise, like I think we pretty much met all those guys that got it Central to that point. So, yeah, it was a good weekend.
Oh yeah, it was a good weekend, real good weekend.
Yeah,
surprised we made it.
You made it through. Like going back to college all over again.
Speaking of prep, what does preparation look like? Because preparation is that key to success, right?
Yeah.
Preparation before a match, preparation before just in life in general. Like, what does that kind of like look like for you guys? This is for both of you too.
Yeah.
Like, would you say like a week prep or like a pregame type?
That's a good question. Yeah. So let's say 3 days before. 3 days before a match. What's going through your head? What's going through, and then we'll even do 3 hours before a match. 3 days before, 3 days, 3 hours before.
That's a good little breakdown. Yeah. Luckily, the 3 days before is usually kind of taking care of for us in terms of training, weight room, and what that looks like. Everyone has their own personal, what they got to do to get through. And usually Thursdays would be an off day for most teams I played for. And then that whole off day is really a big day to take advantage of recovery. It's only 2 days from the game. So usually go hard those first couple of days. And so Thursday's a real big day in terms of recovery and getting right. And then Friday's the captain's run and another big day recovery-wise. You kind of get 2 days to really recover. Captain's run's real light. Just go through, get confidence. And that's a big day eating-wise too, being fueled. I think that's the biggest thing for me on Fridays. Even Thursdays, you got to be real well-fueled and hydrated. And then Friday's just a big eating day. I think I like to carb load quite a bit because
I was gonna say what kind of food do you eat?
Yeah, what's it?
This comes back to Jonah's dad, Coach Kino. Every day, this is where the first time I even heard something like he's like, "Eat your pasta, eat your chicken." Pasta and chicken is my big thing. Also, rice is my big thing before games, and then that's what my 3 days before looks like.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. like especially the day before. That's kind of when I have like a specific routine. I'd say like I have to. So I have like a 32-ounce hydro flask. I had to have like 3 of those before the day ends. I at least had to have like a Pedialyte type electrolyte drink. Do some like light stretching. Make sure I get minimum 8 hours that night before. Next day, game day, I'm not a big eater. Like I think it's just like that anxiety. Just
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, I can. It can be like a night game, and I'm still like so nervous. I'm like, I know I have all the time in the world to eat, but it's still a challenge.
Yeah, you're gonna go down.
So yeah, definitely make sure I get a meal early. Definitely at Time Essentials has taught us some things like I found I need two meals before a game. One small one in the morning, and then kind of like 2-3 hours out. That's the biggest one. That's what I've found has been most successful for me.
Because that's what's fueling you through the game, huh?
Yeah. And then especially you also have to consider like if you're coming off the bench, you got to eat a lot because you're not you're not going to be getting in until depends if you're going to be coming in at half. But at times I pretty much knew I was going to get 20. So like 60 minutes past the game, like you don't know where that like.
Oh, I see why you're saying 2 to 3 then, because like you normally try to keep it around 3, right? Yeah. So yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, like I said, I don't like to eat, so the biggest thing is making sure I'm properly fueled. But that's kind of my routine. It's nothing special. It's just like it feels like it's the required things you need to do to be like performing on it. Yeah.
Every day
program.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm kind of the opposite, where I eat a whole bunch on game day. I've done that since high school.
I'm the same as you, man.
I can't,
Rookie, man. I'm like, I've done it millions of times. Like, still, it's like, no, I stopped eating. Stop eating like 6 hours before the game. I'm like, no, can't do it. I can't do it.